On this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, Boys Swim and Dive, the Multicultural Show, and a Wildcat You Should Know. All this and more coming up next. Welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Kendall O'Keefe. In the prime of their season, Boys Swim and Dive prepares for their upcoming meets. Gianna dives into why the team will be successful this season.
As the season progresses, the swimmers continue to get better. With state in the near future, each set is used as a challenge to reach the end goal.
Well, this year we have a lot of new up-and-coming guys on the varsity, so I'm really just looking forward for them to grow. We have a really big junior class. A lot of them are brand new to the varsity season, so just seeing their growth already the first few weeks has been awesome, and we're just hoping to have a lot of depth all season long.
Senior swimmer Ryan competes in the individual medley, or IM, which is a race where a single athlete swims 4 different strokes, all in a short span of time.
I'm looking forward to swimming at state this year. I think we have a lot of good swimmers this year that can make the cut, and I think a lot of our relays might qualify, and I'm looking forward to being in them.
Having strong swimmers in all categories is an important factor when it comes to winning swim meets.
We've got a lot of depth this year, which is something that is different than a lot of past years. We've got every single stroke, every single distance. We've got 4 distance swimmers, which is really unique. Usually it's only 2 or 3. And we've got a bunch of sprinters, a breaststroker for once.
Be sure to come watch the boys swim here at Neuqua at 5 p.m. tonight. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Gianna Potasic.
The Multicultural Show is a fun and exciting way for Neuqua students to show their culture and heritage. David has the story.
The Multicultural Show is a fun and creative way for students to show their heritage and cultural background. Students are allowed to perform a dance, song, or anything that relates to their culture to perform to parents, peers, and teachers.
The show is an annual production we do once a year in the winter, where we just kind of highlight and celebrate the diversity in our building. My favorite part is that we get to see students share a part of their heritage that we wouldn't typically see at Neuqua Valley. And there are some students who have been trained to do these classic dances for a good chunk of their lifetimes, and they've never had a chance to highlight it in this public forum at their high school. So I love that. I love kids kind of taking risks and talking about different cultural issues that need to be addressed, maybe through a song or through a spoken word piece. And it really is just a great, enriching show that everyone enjoys.
With the variety of different cultures and heritages at Neuqua, this show is very diverse and has a lot of different things in store.
Ciao, my name's Silvano. I was inspired to do the multicultural show because of all the ethnic background groups that we got to watch. They did a lot of cool things, and I was inspired to cook. My grandmother's an immigrant from Italy, so she made a ton of dishes, made a ton of things, and they were really good.
Make sure to come support your fellow Wildcats on January 25th at the Multicultural Show. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm David Ridges.
Have you ever wondered who takes majority of the photos at Neuqua events? Cameron looks into a Wildcat you should know.
Sachin Fong, a senior at Neuqua, has a very special talent and passion for the art of photography, and he started his own business with it.
So I started taking photos at a pretty young age. I started with my mom's camera. I borrowed it for a little bit, and then I eventually bought my own a little bit through junior year. And last year I shot a couple football games, and then graduation was really the big one, where I kind of stepped it up and I learned that I am able to push out these memories that are super cool. So along with my website, I actually use Instagram quite a bit. I post occasional photos. I post 10 per shoot for the larger ones, and then it's at Sachin Fong, and my link to my website is in my bio. Along with that, I've started to do families around District 204, and even broader, that I'm able to just take quick little family photo shoots for them for something like a PTA fundraiser. And now, most recently, I got my first movie premiere, so I'm actually going to be shooting on a red carpet.
Always feel free to check out Sachin's website at Snaps by Sachin or reach out to him directly if you have any questions in photography, scheduling, or you are interested in just seeing a photo gallery. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Cameron Singer.
The NICO administration plays a big role here at school. Brooke sits down with Mr. Perry for a new installment of Get to Know the Assistant Principal.
Welcome to this edition of Get to Know the Assistant Principal. Joining us today is Mr. Perry, supervisor of our Burkett Freshman Center.
I grew up in Belvedere, Illinois. It's about maybe an hour and 15 minutes northwest of here. And I went to school at Belvedere High School. I originally thought for sure I was going to go into business. I love sales. I was in a commission-based sales job in high school that I loved and did well at. And I thought for sure that was going to be the direction until I started coaching junior tackle youth football in my community. I grew up playing football, loved the sport, and was probably too small to play in college. Started coaching and knew immediately it was time to switch my major. I decided to go into education so I could teach and coach. Well, I start every day by greeting students at the front door. It's probably my favorite thing to do is just to say hello and to greet everybody. I'm a relational person, and that's how I like to start my day. And from there, as an administrator, it can go in a million different directions, to be honest. So depending on meetings that I have, I usually get my bearings. It could be anything from attending meetings, meeting with parents, students, staff members, observing classes, or troubleshooting maybe a situation that needs some attention. So Mrs. Perry and I met. At the time she was Miss Bartnick, and we met signing our paperwork. We were new teachers hired into the district in the same year. At that time it was a mass explosion of hiring. We were one of the fastest growing school districts in Illinois, and we met signing paperwork at Waubonsie. They brought all teachers in the whole district to Waubonsie to sign paperwork, and we met there, found out we were teaching together at NICWA, and the rest is history. Wildcat Pride Breakfast is a breakfast we do that, to me, it honors really what the foundation of our school is and its relationships between teachers and students. And there's probably not an event that I look forward to any more than coming together on Wildcat Pride Breakfasts and hear teachers share about great things students are doing and to see the pride that they have in them. It's a three-way tie: Iron Eagle, Rocky IV, and Vision Quest. Football and UFC. Wildfire. Well, my family, but if I got to go with a material possession, I would say 1985 autographed Chicago Bears football I won from Wilbur Marshall, who was a linebacker on that football team. Flying in airplanes. Foo Fighters.
Thank you to Mr. Perry for joining us and sharing more about his background, inspiration, and dedication to his job here at NICWA. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Brooke Harrison.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.